All right, here we go. Good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get this show, of course, on the road. For those of you guys that are joining us over on YouTube, over on Instagram, I'm going to encourage you to, of course, to show up over on Zoom. So we're going to be talking about that database, personal database that is. For some of you, we're going to continue to break it down. What's our personal database? We're going to go a little bit more rapid fire. We're going to work on skills a little bit faster. Why are we going to do this? Well, the main reason is because we're going to be going on a 2-week rotation versus a monthly rotation. So I'm going to encourage you guys to come join us over on Zoom so that we can, of course, take a look at the scripts that we're going to be using and all that other good stuff. So again, we're going to be breaking down personal database for the next 2 weeks. And then after that, we're going to jump over to just listed. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Let's get started. And if you guys have any questions, please do not hesitate to just jump right in, whether you're on YouTube, you are, of course, on Instagram, Facebook, or for that matter, those of you that are joining me here on Zoom. All right, so let's get this show on the road. Personal database. Let's talk about who should be in our personal database. There's 5 key categories. Okay, the 5 key categories, so that we're all on the same page. We are talking about number 1 is going to be that of our friends. Okay, our friends, and in no particular order. Number 2 is going to be our family. Number 3 is going to be our past clients. Okay, so our friends, our family, our past clients. The 4th one is going to be that of affiliates. Okay, who are the affiliates? Who are the people that we identify as affiliates? I want you to think of people that you give money to. Who do you give money to? Well, you give money to dentists, doctor, lawyers, dry cleaners, nail salon, hair salon, barber, mechanic, child care, dog care, all of these, excuse me, all these different people that you, of course, have those relationships with. If you give them money, the ideal goal is for them to reciprocate that in return. Okay, that's number 4. Number 5 is going to be that of our vendors. Okay, escrow, title, lender, home warranty, plumber, roofer, electrician, landscaper, all of these people that support our real estate business. Okay, so make sure you guys, of course, write that down. So, the other thing is we have to understand that part of us building out not only our database, but we need to understand that 30 to 35% of this business, okay, should come from here. Now, there's I have coaching clients from all different aspects. Okay, whenever I'm building out these agents that are getting to the 7 figures, getting into the million, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million mark, one of the things that these agents all have in common, a couple of them, because I'm not going to give you all of them, at least not right now. They're going to have 4 to 6 different sources. Okay, at least 4 sources, 6 sources where they generate business from. Okay. The other thing is that of course they're continuing to grow their business is that 30 to 35% is going to come from this one source. That's the one thing that is common amongst every single last 7-figure producer. Okay, this is kind of the foundation, if you want to call it that, is that of their personal database. Now, agents that I've coached in the past, because I can't sit here and say that as if though 100% of every single agent that I've coached has gone on to uber success. No, there's also coaching clients that don't do anything I ask of them to. There's agents that do very, very little, okay, or there's the agents that show up every single day but don't follow their schedule, and they get the complete opposite of that. Now, what I'm getting at is this: the agents that have a tendency of struggling in this business, think about with where you're at. Okay. If you're succeeding, awesome, kudos to you. But if you're an agent that's struggling, this one source is in almost always the case where agents fail. Let me say that again. This one source is where agents mostly fail. Okay. And what I mean by that is that these are the agents, and I say this again with all respect. Okay. But these are the agents that are doing 5, 10, and 15 deals. Now, if your goal, your business plan is to do this, good, awesome, kudos to you. But if your goal is to do 50, 75, 100s, and again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful because some people do want to be there, okay, that don't go after their personal database. And I get it. I understand. I get people all the time. But Robert, last year I did 8 deals, and of the 8 deals, 7 of them came from my personal database. What are you talking about? Well, this is what I'm talking about. I go and break down this person's personal database, and what do I see? Well, I look at their personal database and they identify all five of the different categories. Again, past clients, family, friends, associates, and vendors. They put every single one of them on a list, and then they have 350 people. Like, okay, let's go through it with a fine tooth comb. How many of those people do you need to add? Oh, well, you know what? I didn't go through my social media. I didn't go to Facebook. I didn't go to my Instagram. I haven't gone to my LinkedIn. I haven't gone into the whatever. Oh, wow, I don't have 350. I have 450 people. Okay. Well, now are you separating the husband and the wives from two separate entries? No, I haven't really quite done that yet. I usually pretty much just keep the Johnsons and the Smiths and the Rodriguezes together. Okay, well, separate them. How many people do you have now if you were to separate them? I don't know, about six, maybe 700 people. Well, there's the rule of 10. Okay, and this is my gauge. The rule of 10 says that we should be getting 10% return on our investment. Now, of that, if the person has, as in this extreme example, 600 people, 10% of that is 60 deals. Good for you that you got 7 of them, but you lost on the other 53. Okay, so you're the type of person that will get business that comes your way, but what you're not getting is you're not getting growth. Okay, now, going back to full circle with what I was mentioning in regards to these agents that are making 7 figures, are going to have 4 to 6 different sources minimum. Some of them will have 8, 10, 12 of them. Okay. They're doing 100 deals. What it looks like is in most cases, 30, 40, or 50 deals of the hundreds come from the personal database. Then they get another 10, 15, or 20 from that second source. They get another 10 or 15 from the third source. They get another 5 or 10 from that fourth, another 5 or 10, another 5 or 10, another 2 to 3, another 1 to 2. And as it all builds out, they end up doing 103 transactions. Okay. So of this, it is important that we understand that 30 to 35% of our business should come from this source. Now, going back to the agent that did 8 deals last year as an example, and 7 of the 8 deals came from their personal database, well, that's more than 30%. Isn't that good? No, it's not. Because what that's telling me is that this person isn't going after other sources or doing a good job of it at least. Okay. Well, where did that other deal came from? Oh, well, the other deal was a sign call. The other deal was an open house. The other deal was somebody found me online. Cool. Well, if in this case, which is with what I do, I love starting with this particular source with all of my past clients because every single one of you have a personal database. Now, in the example that I created of the person that has 600 people in their personal database, what ends up happening now is I go, okay, so how do we go from 7 to 60? Well, maybe not 60, but how do we even go from 7 to 20? That's very realistic. And I've done that plenty of times. And then that second source, what if you go from 1 to 5? And then what about that third source, which was 0? And what if we just get 2 deals from there? And what about that fourth source? What if we get another 2 deals from there? What about the fifth source if we just get 1? Now I've taken a person to go from 7 deals to as many as 25 deals. So we have to understand that our personal database is an absolute goldmine because it's the foundation. And if you don't have that, then you're building your business, of a roller coaster. That's the ups and the downs. Okay, so you got to get off that roller coaster. Let me open it up to the audience, see if there's any questions, any comments, any concerns, anything that I can address. Okay. I'm going to encourage you, if you're also in a position where you can't necessarily turn your camera on, okay, I'm going to encourage you, of course, to type your questions in if you'd like. Okay, so if there's any questions that you guys have either on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, anything from that direction, and then Senna, I can't see Facebook, so if you can do me a favor, make sure we get those questions asked over here. All right, so feel free to ask away. I'm going to continue to break this down. So in this, what we need to do is, as we continue to move forward, is we need to connect with these people. How do we reconnect with these people? Okay. Reconnect with people that we haven't spoken with in the past. There's a large percentage of you that find yourselves in this direction. Okay, Robert, I get it. I understand. You're definitely making a point here. But how do I reconnect with these people that I haven't spoken with in a long time? Okay. These people that we haven't connected with in a long time, we have to give them a call and be able to create that, again, reconnection. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you guys here a script. This is a part where those of you guys that are on YouTube and or, of course, over on Instagram, you're going to have to come join us. Okay, so come join us over on Zoom. All right, so I'm going to share with you guys the script. So let's jump into this. And the script that I want to share with you is a reconnect script. Okay, Chad, I got your Senna. If you can give me share permissions, please. And then Chad, I'll get to your question in a second. All right. So in this, these are people that we haven't spoken with in a while. Okay, Senna, give me share options, please. All right. So in this is a reconnection. Okay, this is the reconnect script. So the way that this basically is going to work, if I'm calling Joe Schmo, okay, Joe Schmo, hey, it's Robert. Do you have a minute for me? Robert, hey, what's up? What's going on? How you been? What's happening? In today's society, we find ourselves where making a phone call to people is weird, right? How many people do we actually pick up the phone and call people now? Okay, it's very, very rare. Majority of the people, what are they doing? They're sending texts. So when you call them, they're like, what's up? What's going on? Is everything okay? So what we have to do is we have to break that up. And the way we break that up is we start to create expectations. And then the expectations, which is basically part of the script. So the first thing I'm going to do in the script, I was calling you as I was going through my phone, and I noticed that I have not spoken to you in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. It doesn't matter. You know, the last thing I wanted to do, Joe, is send you some random text, which is what we do. Okay. Oh, hey. Well, yeah, I appreciate the phone call. So what's up? What's going on? Well, let me start with you. How are you doing? Okay. Just wanted to simply check in. How are you doing? How's life? How's the wife? How's the kids? How's these people? How's that? How's all this other stuff? Okay. And in that, what we want to do is we want to be able to engage, and we need to be genuine when we do this. Okay. Don't just do the brush over. Hey, how's it going? What's up? What's going on? What's the latest? What's the greatest? Oh, that's good for you. That's awesome. Good. Okay. Now let's talk about me. All right. We need to be in a position where we can, of course, really be engaged. Hey, so what's going on? How's the kids? Hey, I saw that you posted this. Hey, tell me a little bit more about that. I see you recently made a move. I see your kids are playing soccer. I see that your wife just finished nursing school. You know, I see that your husband is now a firefighter. That's super cool. Whatever it is. Now, in this, I want you to spend 2 to 5 minutes in talking about them. What's new? How's the family? How's business? How's work? Whatever their circle is, it doesn't matter. We need to be absolutely genuine. Now, that's the first part of the reconnection script. The second part, which is the most vital part of this script, is you have to get into the business side of it. Because if you don't do this, which I'm going to explain a little bit further, if you don't do this, it's going to make it very, very challenging. Here's what I mean. Example number 1. Joe, hey, it's Robert, your realtor. How's it going? Any real estate questions? No? All right, man. I know it's been 7 years. Well, if you need me for anything, just reach out to me. Let me know. That's weird. Option number 2. Well, Robert said to give him a call and reconnect. Now I'm going to use part of the script without the second half. Joe, hey, it's Robert Villanueva. How are you doing? Good, man. Hey, what's up? Well, hey, just wanted to check in with you. I was calling to see, just going through my phones, and I noticed I haven't spoken to you in like 5 years. And last thing I want to do is just send you some random text. I wanted to simply check in and see how you're doing. Awesome. How's the kids? Okay. How's the wife? Good. How's work? Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. We'll talk soon, okay? That's the second version. And in the second version, that is weak. Because if I try calling Joe again in 3 months from now, what's going to end up happening? Well, hey, what's up? What's going on? That's like 2 times in like 3 months, and we haven't spoken in like 7 years. Dude, what's going on? See what I'm saying? So we have to do the third version. And the third version is now we shift it over to business. And that's the rest of the script. I also wanted to take a minute to recommit to you and get your permission to see if I can check in with you 3 to 4 times a year and give you some updates as to what's going on with real estate. Is that okay with you? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Why not? Okay. Is there any real estate questions I can answer for you now? No, we're good. We're kind of just settling in here. Now, remember, the first half of the conversation was in most cases 3, 5, 7 minutes long. Tell me about you. What's going on? What's the latest? What's the greatest? What's happening? How are you doing? What's going on here? And then this much of it, which is literally about a 30, 60-second wrap up, is it okay if I check in with you? Okay. And that's it. Now, this is vital and it's important because when you call them the second time in 3 months, now we get the opportunity to do this. Joe, hey, it's Robert, your realtor. I promised you I was going to check in with you a little bit more often. Well, hey, I appreciate you keeping your promise. Okay. So now I can go into, do you have a minute for me? Go into the rest of the script. You guys get that? Okay. So it is important. We're going to continue to work on this. And again, for those of you guys that are over on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, I'm going to encourage you to come join us over on Zoom. So let me go through. Let me go ahead and address. Let's take a look. So Chad had a question. Okay, so Chad's question was, what about addressing the wife separately? Has there ever been a problem for a husband wondering why you're hitting on the wife? Okay, hitting on the wife separately. For sure, absolutely. I totally get that, Chad. So we do, of course, want to be respectful. It is important that when we're reaching out to the spouse, number one is that we do have a relationship with them. Okay, not everybody falls in this category. Okay, so only if we have a version of a relationship with them. Number two, okay, is in most cases, if you feel a little uncertain, make sure you ask the spouse, the husband, okay? And it's really important that we do set, of course, that expectation and that standard, because as we set that expectation and as we set that standard, when we're going to call them, we want to make sure that the other part of this is we call them separately, but we don't call them back to back. So I don't call Joe at 9 o'clock and then call Maria at 9:15. Okay, we don't do that. I call Joe today, May 6th, and then maybe on June 6th is when I now call Maria. Okay, so there is a sense of separation. I don't want there to be a day 2 or 3 because I guarantee you 90% of the time, Joe's going to be like, hey, guess who called me? Right? Like, hey, yeah, Robert. Yeah, Villanueva. Yeah, he called me. Okay. So if we call them a day or two or a week or two later, it's going to be a little bit fresh. So that way, when I call them again, the spouse 30 days later, Maria, hey, it's Robert. Oh, yeah, hey, Joe told me you called him like a month ago. Yep, sure did. Now it becomes a little bit more casual and a little bit more, a little more conversational from that direction. Okay. So any other questions that I can address? Oh, hold on. Sorry, I don't know. Hold on. I didn't even realize. No wonder it was so quiet. Hold on. All right, let's try this again. My speaker was completely on a different device. All right, go for
Okay,
it.
so hi Robert. Yes, do you
Mm,
have a limit as to how many times you'll call them
mm,
if they're not picking up?
sure.
Because yeah,
Mm,
so it's that's what I've been kind of running into. I call them quarterly and nobody picks up, but maybe I'm not using maybe if I had your script,
mm.
maybe they would be picking up. So
Yeah,
I don't know. But yeah, it's like I just don't get a whole lot of pickups.
sure.
And I've removed some of them from my database
Okay.
because of it.
So let's address that because you basically have like a can of worms in regards to with what you just said. So the first thing is let's start backwards. Number one is we do not remove people from our database if they're past clients, family, and or friends. Okay, so if they're past clients, family, or friends, we don't remove them unless they tell us to remove them. Number one. Okay, so don't remove them. Number two, when you call them, you're going to give them 3 calls. Always 3 calls. Let me break that down. The 3 calls, you're going to call them on consecutive days. Today would be day 1, tomorrow would be day 2, and then on Thursday would be day 3. You have to call them consecutively. Those of you that are not calling your personal database consistently, okay, you call them today and then you try them again in 2 weeks and then you try them again on that third week. That's way too inconsistent. You're not tracking your system correctly, which I'm going to break down as we continue to move forward. But further answering your question, voicemail number 1. Okay, if we're calling them for the very, 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 very first time, okay, I'm gonna basically Aqua. Hey, it's Robert Villanueva. I wanted to see if I can borrow you for a few minutes. When you get a chance, can you give me a call back? I'm gonna send you a follow-up text. Aqua, hey, it's Robert. I left you a voicemail. I'd love to catch up. When is a good time for us to connect? Okay. Number 2, Aqua, hey, it's Robert Villanueva. I left you a voicemail yesterday. Hopefully all is well. Just wanted to check in and borrow you for a few minutes. Okay. Let me know when's a good time.
Okay.
Okay. Number 3, this is Thursday. Number 3, Aqua, hey, it's Robert Villanueva. I know we get a little bit busy. No worries. I just wanted to check in and I wanted to commit to you that I wanted to check in with you a little bit more often. And I'm hoping that this is okay. I just want to give you some updates as to what's going on with the real estate market.
Okay.
That is on that very, 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 very first time that we've called these people and we haven't spoken to them in 6 months, a year, 2 years, or a decade. Okay. So now we have them in rotation. We put them in rotation. And as we put them in rotation, we're now on a quarter. Let's just kind of use it as an example. We're supposed to call them once a quarter, which I'll break down even further. Okay. So once a quarter, 4 times a year. I go through, call them today. I called them tomorrow. I called them on Thursday. I remove them, not from the list, but I cross them out. I put a date next to it. I've completed the call with Aqua, even though we didn't have a conversation. I'm going to try you back in 3 months, the next quarter, as an example. So now in this in this second attempt, the next quarter, and in quarter number 3, quarter number 5, number 6, number 7, infinity and beyond, I'm going to do the exact same thing with the 3 voicemails. But I'm going to say the script just a little bit different. Okay? Because now either I have spoken to you the very first time, or for that matter, I have not spoken to you the first time, but I did leave you the 3 voicemails. Now, again, remember, for attempt number 2, quarter 3, quarter number 7, quarter number 50. Voicemail number 1. Aqua, hey, it's Robert reaching out to you. I had a quick question I wanted to ask you. When you get a chance, please give me a call back. Okay? Remember, we've already established the reconnection. Now we're just putting them in rotation. Voicemail number 2, second attempt. Okay? Day 2. Aqua, hey, it's Robert, your realtor. Just wanted to reach out to you. I just wanted to borrow you for a few minutes. I promise you it won't take much more than 5 minutes. Just have a couple of quick questions. I know we get a little bit busy. Voicemail number 3 in its entirety, okay, which we're going to talk about as we continue to progress in creating value, because we have to create value with these calls. Now I'm going to leave you the value. Aqua, hey, it's Robert, the realtor, your realtor, just giving you a call. The reason I was calling you the last 2 days is because I wanted to share with you that the interest rates are doing this. There's this great loan program. There's all of this stuff that's in a sense happening. Okay. And my question to you is, who do you know that needs to know this information, that is looking to buy, looking to sell, looking to invest? Okay. So if you know of anybody, please send them my way. Okay. I don't like doing this right out the gate on the very first voicemail, because here's what happens. We leave that on the very first voicemail. We don't do the 3 voicemails like I mentioned. The very first voicemail, what ends up happening is that they look at their phone and they go, oh, Robert, oh, interest rates. Well, there's Bob at work, but yeah, Bob's always on the fence. I don't want to bother Robert about Bob. So I don't want to do that. Instead, what I want to do is I want to get you to engage with me by leaving voicemail 1, voicemail 2, and eventually voicemail 3. Because when I call you again, let's say on day 3, and you go, oh, hey, I was super duper busy. I went to, Cabo for the weekend, and, I just got back yesterday. Sorry, I've been a little bit busy. And now you pick up and I go, hey, well, who do you know? Here's the information. Here's what's going on with the interest rates. Who do you know? You're like, oh, well, Bob, but Bob's always on the fence. I don't even want to bother with you about Bob. Well, hey, well, tell me a little bit about Bob. What is he looking for? Is he currently working with a realtor? Okay, is he working with a lender? How long has he been, looking? What type of home is he looking for? Let me give Bob a call. Maybe there's a question or 2 or 3 that maybe I can answer for him, and maybe that'll help him. Well, I don't want you to waste your time. Oh, no, it's no problem. I don't want to waste my time either. But sometimes there might be a question 2 or 3 that might need to be asked. Now I talk to Bob, and Bob's like, well, I'm just waiting for the interest rates to drop. I'm waiting for the market to crash. Bob, how long have you been waiting? Well, I've been waiting for like 5 years. Goodness gracious, Bob. 5 years you've been paying how much in rent? $3,000. Goodness. That's $36,000 you've been throwing in the trash for the last 5 years. That's $150,000. Like, how much do you think the market is going to crash? Hey, see what I'm saying? So the other part of it as well, we have to remember is, let me go all the way back with the initial conversation. Okay, with the reconnect call, this is important because I know some of you are going to be using the information that I'm giving you, okay, which I'm hoping everybody does. Do not, under any circumstances, do not big asterisk, warning label, don't do this, okay? Do not have calls longer than 10 minutes on the reconnection. Do not, I emphasize, re-emphasize, overemphasize, do not have longer than 10-minute conversations on the reconnects. Why? Here's what happens. We give Nancy a call. Nancy, hey, it's Robert. Oh my gosh, Robert, hey, how are you doing? Oh, I'm great. Well, I just wanted to check in with you, see how things. Oh my gosh, you have no clue. This is happening. That's happening. Oh my gosh, can you believe Sandra did this? And can you believe Joe did this other stuff? Here you are, 35 minutes later. You get off the phone. You're like, man, that was so awesome to reconnect with her. The problem with this, and she's probably saying the same thing. When I give her a call back in 3 months from now, she's going to go, yeah, I don't know if I really want to have another 35, 45-minute conversation with Robert again. We get that? So do not, under any circumstances, take more than 10 minutes. At 10 minutes, drop dead. Okay? Let me show you how to walk away. How many of you guys want to learn how to walk away from any call or any situation? Okay? Here's how you do this. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot. I just realized I have an 8 o'clock appointment I have to prepare for, and I only have 3 minutes. Okay, let's do this. Let's reconnect later. Is it okay if I check back with you later? Okay, as a matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll send you a text later. Thank you so much for taking my call. I really am appreciative of that. I want to know more about what you were telling me about Sandy. Yeah, and whatever ended up happening with her neighbor. I want to hear more about that. No, I don't. 9 times out of 10, I guarantee you the response I'm going to get is going to be one of two things. It's going to be, hey, don't bother. It was totally great catching up with you. I really appreciate it. Okay. But yeah, I'll keep in touch with you. You guys got that? Okay. We're going to jump into the script. We're going to continue to move in that direction. I know we got another question with chat here. So let me go ahead and address that question. So let's take a look. So would you consider doing something after not connecting the second set of voicemails, perhaps like brownies from send out cards? I probably wouldn't initially, Chad, only because when it comes time to, you can eventually, as you build that relationship, okay, I wouldn't do that in a sense initially, just simply because of the fact that it can come across a little cheesy for some people. Not everybody. Some people are going to appreciate it. They're going to be like, absolutely, I love it. Thank you so much for the brownies. But there are going to be other people where they're going to be a little bit, it's going to come across a little cheesy. Okay. So I'd rather have a genuine conversation than for somebody to sit here and send me a pound cake. Okay. So, but eventually as we reconnect, or even after the call, hey, I came across this great company, and I just absolutely love their brownies. Give me your thoughts. I'm going to send you some. Thank you so much for taking my call. It's going to be way more valuable from that perspective than trying to create the engagement initially out the gate, because it's going to become a little bit surfacey from that direction. Okay, cool. All right, so let me go ahead and make a quick little announcement. Again, I just want to remind everybody that we're going to be doing a database for the next 2 weeks. Okay, next week we're going to be dark, so we really only have 3 days of database. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit of rapid fire on database. So we will be dark next Wednesday and Thursday. Actually, no. I take that back. So next Thursday, we're going to be dark as I'm going to be traveling. Okay. The other thing is today, 12:30, Colton Lindsay, okay, is going to be joining us. Colton Lindsay has built a phenomenal network, actually through Real. He's technically with what would be considered my grandfather, or great-grandfather. Okay, so we're going to talk to him about building a great network, obviously, in regards to not just for Real, not just for cloud-based brokerages, but in regards to becoming also more influential. Okay, last week I had Reyes, who has almost 100,000 followers. Previous to that, I had Robert Cedeno, who's closing over 200 deals through social media. Okay, I want to be able to create a little bit of an alternate version of what we are bringing. It's not always going to just simply be about skills. Yes, the focus will majority be on skills, but we're going to be talking about so many different things, and you guys are going to be excited about some of the things that I'm going to be bringing on. Okay, how many of you guys are actually being coached by me? Okay, how many of you guys are in a position where you guys are in my organization? Cool. So this month, okay, if you're in my organization, if you are in my coaching program, okay, I am going to be doing once a month moving forward. Starting this month, we're going to have a mastermind exclusively, completely separate, just for those people. Okay. If you want more information on how you get into this VIP, how you get into the organization, how you get more information about coaching, how do you get in part of this mastermind once a month? And again, this is private. Okay. This is only for my coaching clients, and this is only for the people in my organization. Once a month, we're going to have a mastermind. If you want more information, send me a DM. As always, truly a pleasure. Let's go out, take a listing or 5, and I'll see you guys later today at 12:30 when I'm interviewing Colton Lindsay. See you guys soon. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, guys. So, yep, today, 12:30 here on this channel, not on YouTube, but on this channel here on Instagram, we are going to be going live with Mr. Colton Lindsay. I'm going to encourage you to look him up if you haven't already. Okay, so I will see you guys today, 12:30. And if you want more information, as I mentioned, in regards to coaching or being a part of the organization, so you can be a part of the exclusive VIP mastermind, I'm going to encourage you to please send me a DM. And Tony, you're welcome. We got to connect, man. All righty. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.